What is going on, Pirate Gang? Harry Pirate here again for another episode of Murdered by Pirates. Today I'm just going to be doing a bald fade for you on my boy Joe, just show you guys the steps. Not so much a tutorial, but just sort of showing you how it's done. So what you saw me spray on there before was just some alcohol, just make sure that the hair is clean and helps it sit down a little bit. So right here I am balding out with my Wool 5-star balding clippers. You just want to make sure that you clean up nice, make sure that you get every little bit of hair. I'm actually going to be using the Oster fast feeds today to show you how I do a fade with the purple guard setup. And also I've had a few requests from people asking me to do a fade with the Oster fast feeds. So that's why I'm doing this video. So yeah, once you've balded out, you want to use your pro foils or, you know, some sort of foils to just get it really smooth. You want to go up just about an inch to half an inch before that first guideline. You'll notice that you make a little line with your foils. Make sure you flick out as you come off, but what you want to do is take a trimmer like Andy's Slimline Pro Li like this, or you can use your any detailers really, any trimmers, and just use the corners and flick out that little line you may have created or left by using your foils. And when you're doing this, make sure if you need to stretch the skin downwards. You can stretch up, but I like stretching downwards. I feel that I get a more clean finish by doing that. So just work your way all the way around, make sure you get out that little foil line that you may have left from going from bald to your balding clippers, if that makes sense. Always brush off, make sure you're brushing a lot, make sure you're always getting rid of the hair that's in your way. So here I've got the Oster Fast Feed Tattoo Edition, modified with the ceramic blade, the True Zero. Here I've got the blade all the way open, no guard, and we're going to create our second guideline about half an inch above the first one. You can go a little bit higher, I just prefer to keep it around half an inch, maybe a little bit more than half an inch actually. I'd say like 3/4 of an inch. Make sure you work methodically and you know you're making a nice straight bar, so all your levels, all your guidelines are parallel with each other and equal. That's the way to ensure a really buttery, blurry fade. You know, don't dig the clippers in. Let the blade do the work. That's what they're there for. Take your time. Always brush off after every couple of seconds, 5 seconds or so. Or you know, just make sure that you're always using a clean canvas. Make sure you're brushing all the hair that might be there, and it also helps to settle the hair as well. It resets the hair after, you know, because you're pushing the hair up, especially on afro hair like this. You're pushing the hair up with the clipper, so you want to reset it with your brush. Just make sure that you can see everything nicely. So here what I'm doing, I've now closed the blade and I'm just knocking that bottom line out, which was our first guideline. You want to just play with your lever, close it, open it. The closer you get to that second guideline, you want to open up your lever. You don't want to raise the fade, so make sure you stay under that guideline. Make sure that you're being methodical with your work. So here what I'm doing, I've got the number 1 guard on, the Andy's 1 guard, double magnetic, and I'm just going to go over the whole head. This is open, so, this is a 1 guard closed. This is a 1 guard closed. You just want to go over the whole head. Make sure that you're working clean and methodical and you're not missing any spots. You don't need to press hard, but just make sure that you're going over the right areas at the right time and you're making everything nice and even. No patches. We're not a patch factory here. We don't do patches. You know, take your time. Don't rush these haircuts. This is what makes me laugh about these high street barbers that get people in and out in 15 minutes. You can't do a good haircut in 15 minutes. I'm sorry. You know, this took me 45 minutes, and as long as you're giving the client a good time and you're taking your time and giving them a good haircut, they're not going to mind 45 minutes, and that also ensures that you get to do a proper job. So yeah, right here I have now got the 1/16 guard, and what I'm doing, I'm just going over the line about an inch over it, just to make sure that I'm blending that into the one. Now here I've actually closed the guard up, and use the corners of your guard. Don't use the whole flat width of it, because you'll put in another line. So what you want to do is just use the corner 2 or 3 teeth and just start to flick that last line out. So this is the 1/16 closed. We went over the line with it open. I didn't show you too much of that because my camera went out of focus, but you get the gist. You don't want to do too much, just about an inch over, blends it into the one, and then this is the 16th closed. As I said, try and use the guard at an angle, or use the corners, and don't be scared to go upwards, you know, don't hold back. You want to blend this, you want to blend it all into each other. You don't want to squash it all into a couple of inches, because it's just going to look like they're wearing a helmet, and then they're going to call you a helmet. So yeah, work your way all the way around with this 1/16 guard closed. As you can see, there is still a little bit of darkness. I'll show you how to get that out in a minute. So here I'm using the no guard open again, and I'm just refining. You know, 70% of a fade it's easy to get the initial fade done, but you want to refine, you want to detail at the end, which is what I'm doing here. So this is open, and we are just going over any dark patches I might see, using the corners. Occasionally I'll use the whole width of the blade, but it doesn't look like I'm flicking out here, but I am flicking out. You kind of get your little technique going. I've been doing this a while, so yeah, believe me, I'm flicking out. It doesn't look like I am, but ever so slightly I am. So we're just going over any you know, dark patches. As you can see, we're just getting those out. As long as you always start with your guards or your blades open and work down, it's very hard to raise the fade. You're gonna have a hard time fucking up. So right here I've got the 1/16 back on, closed, and I'm just again going over the dark patches that I can see. You know, use your chair, use your light, spin the client, use your mirror. Always make sure that you're checking for patches, make sure it's even, the blend's buttery, the blend's blurry. You know, you don't want any lines, you want this looking crispy. So it's all about movement and light, and using your eyes from different directions, different angles. You know, I will raise my client up and down in the chair a lot. You know, I'll pump them up, I'll sink them down, I'll make sure that I'm trying to hit this from every angle, really, you know, enjoying what I'm doing as well. That's important. You need to enjoy what you're doing, because then you're going to put love into it and you're going to give them a good haircut. So here I'm just using the Wall 5-star detailer. It cuts ever so slightly closer than the Andy Slimline Pro that I used earlier to get the foil line out, and I'm just re-rubbing at that foil line, just starting below it, flicking outwards, just making sure that the transition from skin to hair is as smooth and buttery as possible. I don't want any lines. You know, we don't do lines here. We do fades. There's no helmet fades here. So work your way all the way around. You know, stretch the skin up, stretch it down, whatever you need to do. It will help the hair stick out the skin when you stretch the skin. And that will in turn make it easier for your detailers to pick the hair up. So always give a nice brush, make sure the hair is sitting flat and straight. That will give you a nice platform again to start your shape up. So I'll start from the center here using the Andy Slimline Pro Li. I've zero gapped these blades so they hit pretty hard. Now Joe doesn't like a completely boxed off look. He likes it lined up, but he doesn't like it, you know, really sharply lined up. He likes it a little bit more natural. So to do that, we line it up, but you know, I'm not going to go too crazy with the corners. I'm also not going to box it off on the sides. I'm going to leave the hairline a pretty natural shape. You just want to touch the trimmers onto the skin. You don't want to press too hard, leave any marks. Although with these ones, you know, they're really sick trimmers. You can kind of press a little bit. You don't have to go too. You don't have to be too gentle. As long as everything looks straight. Again, just take your time. There's no rush. It's the most important thing, there's no rush. Rather take an extra 10 minutes and give your client a great haircut than try and get it done quickly and push their hairline back, or you just completely fuck the haircut up. This is make or break right here, you know. If you fuck this up, man, doesn't matter how good your fade is, this shit's gonna look awful, man. Just make sure you're taking your time. I always finish this with a razor anyway, so this is sort of just approximate. I just get the shape in and then I finish it off with a razor. Joe can't have a razor on his neck. He's got really sensitive skin, so I use the Andy Slimline Pro Li, and then I'll go over the neck area with the foils just to clean it up. Now, here I'm using some Elegant shave gel. This is the Venus pink one. Smells real good. Smells good as hell actually. It's like mixed herbs. So just apply the gel wherever you're going to put the razor. It softens the skin, softens the bristle, and reduces irritation because it contains aloe vera amongst other things. So I just applied some gel. You know, just put it where you're going to line up because you want to make sure that you have room to stretch the skin. You don't want to be slipping. So here I'm just razoring the hook. As I said, I'm not going too crazy with it. Joe likes it a little bit more natural, so. But at the same time, you want it to look fresh. You know, you don't want to leave it messy. So when somebody asks for it natural, you still line it up. You might not go maybe as sharp as you would. So yeah, just doing the hairline here. Here I'm doing the eyebrows. I always do the eyebrows if I think they need shaping. Always ask though, obviously. Don't just crack on, like say, is it cool if I do this? Just be very careful with your cutthroat. I actually did shape these with the Andy Slimline Pro Li first. I didn't show you, but for some reason my camera's being a bit out of focus today, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, once you've done that, I apply this is Perazzo Sandalwood pre and post shave cream. You can use this before a shave or after. It works real good as a deep, nourishing moisturizer. So just make sure I hit the whole face with this. Make sure it's all rubbed in. It smells real good as well. It's got like a really soft sandalwood smell. It just puts a lot of moisture back into the skin and You gotta remember the cutthroat takes off 2 to 3 layers of skin, so you definitely want something to soothe it. You can use a balm or I don't know, whatever you fancy. I just really like this stuff. It's got a lovely texture and people seem to like it. So here I'm using an astringent to disinfect and close the pores. This is one I made. It's lemon and neroli. It's real good. Brush that in. I always brush the astringent in just to make sure it's hitting all the pores. We've got a nice fade here, as you can see. So you finish off with some talc Clubman, obviously. Oh man, I love Clubman. It smells so good. So yeah, you just always use your mirror, check that everything's nice and even. You want it symmetrical, you want one side looking the same as this side, you know. Make sure you get all the hair off. Here I'm applying some Pashana Blue Orchid Friction Lotion. This goes over the hair and just on the back of the neck. And then I'll just finish off with some olive oil sheen spray. Smells real good and gives the hair a nice sheen, conditions it. Make sure the scalp doesn't go dry. I did actually use some aftershave too, some Invictus. And there you have it. There's a bald fade on my boy Joe. I hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, it wasn't so much a tutorial, but I just wanted to show you the method I use with the Oster fast feeds. Yeah, until next time guys, you know it. Study, love and enjoy your craft. And try not to be a dick to people. See you Tuesday. Peace.